Hi, I'm Joe Forte. Welcome to the Screenwriting Life, where I am getting to talk to Lorien McKenna today. I have the honor of talking with Lorien McKenna today. And Lorien and I are going to, what is it called? Workshop a new thought for the Screenwriting Life called Shop Talk. And we don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to talk shop.
Yes.
Lorien, what does it mean?
The shop being writing.
Yeah. What do you think it means, the word shop talk? Like what would be good topics to talk about? We have one today.
Yeah, I think the one you suggested today, which is how do you juggle multiple projects or manage them? I think it's really great because we get asked that question a lot in our Q&As on TSL Workshops and on the Facebook group, and we never quite dig into it enough on episodes of the podcast, I think. So I think it's a good place to start. And I think that's a great place to get questions. People want to get into the nitty gritty, into the granular of things that we don't often get a chance to with our guests. And
so we're standing around the shop, you and I'm going to ask you a question, which is, should you even have multiple projects? People ask that. Are you allowed to have multiple projects? Should you have multiple projects? What is your opinion about that?
Well, I have an opinion about it.
I want to hear it.
The should part always makes me react because I'm like, how dare you say I should do something? And I think for a lot of us working writers, it's a necessity. It's unavoidable. You can. I would love the luxury of you have one project. Here's a giant chunk of money. Here's how much time you have. Focus on it. But even if you get that, when you finish the project and you deliver it and you turn it in, what do you do next? So I think it's inevitable that you are managing multiple projects, even if you're not getting paid to do any of them. You should always have things in the should. It is a good idea.
Well, I was gonna push back on that because meaning like the word should, like as a professional writer, I think you should have multiple things going on, but everybody's at a different stage, right? So if you're like getting your first script together, then by all means, like sink into that and enjoy it. What do you think is a level at which, like, to me, multiple projects are created out of an authentic cascade, sort of like what you're saying, like you write a script and you're waiting for notes. And while you're waiting or you don't know what to do with that script, you start something else. Like, how do you find that you find yourself with multiple projects? Do you sit down and go 1, 2, 3, or do they kind of come as you're in your process, in your flow?
It usually comes out of, this project is hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm stuck. Fuck. New idea.
Right.
Sexy, exciting. Yeah. Look at me. Go out on a date with me. Right.
Yeah.
You don't have, so it's, that's sort of how a lot of my stuff comes up. Also, I find myself like reading a headline in a newspaper or seeing something funny and thinking, oh, I could write a show about that. But it's really just a moment. It would take, but it's fun. The buzz of the hit of coming up with it sort of is a high that I love.
So I'm super curious because, wow, this is exciting. We're going into all these tributaries. Like, how do you capture all those ideas? Where do you keep them? How do you like make them accessible so that you're not like, don't you find that ideas come and then like you didn't write it down, or it's the classic boy meets girl, and you're like, wait a minute, that was the greatest dream I ever had. Like, what is let's just maybe talk about like practical ways that you capture those ideas and keep them, I can tell you the way I do it, but
you tell me the way you. Okay.
Well, a lot of times I'll be driving, right, and I'll just send myself an email, right, and you're just like, this or whatever, and then
with voice though,
with
you're
voice,
not
yeah,
typing
100%,
an email.
no, 100%,
right.
yeah, I'll give.
Like,
I'll
we want to know what kind of car
yes.
you have to avoid you on the road.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll be talking, via. I'll send myself an email via voicemail. And, then I'll just put them into a pile, but there will be I'll put them into a folder, but there is a time where I just sit down and then read through all of them, and I guess it's always like what sticks, what's I'm fascinated by, to sort of pull it up to the top. But do you find that like it's things that like something so captures you that you have to go work on it, or do you have something that you pulled out of a pile from 2 years ago that you forgot all about, and suddenly you're like, oh, joy.
All of that. I think the keeping a list thing is very new to me, and I don't remember who we had on the show, um, who we were talking about, she keeps things in her notes app. And I was like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I'll do that." So I've been starting to do that. And what I find really interesting about it is as soon as I put it in the notes app, I forget. I forget it. And so when I come up with something new and I put it in the notes app, I reread everything. And what I'm looking for now at this point are connecting threads. Is there something that connects them? Maybe not those ideas or snippets, but something bigger. Um,
Emotionally.
Emotionally or thematically, or even just like, oh, these are all about a woman who falls down in some way, right? Physically,
Yeah.
emotionally, like what is
Right.
that?
Right.
And it's also really affected by what I'm reading, what I'm watching on TV, an interaction I had. So and then I also do the thing where I will find an old script. My husband just uh had an old computer of mine where I had some photos of my baby when she was under 2 that I thought I'd lost, but they were on this computer. So he took it to the place and the computer place. I don't know what it's called. The
The
magic
place.
people,
Yeah,
the
it's down the
place.
alley. It's down the stairs, up
Yeah,
the alley. Yeah.
that's right. And whoever magic person worked there like restored the whole drive. So all of a sudden it had us old writing from forever ago and I'm reading it and I don't remember writing it. I don't have any relationship to it, so I can actually be like, "Oh, this is not bad," or "This is real pile of shit." So I found something that I actually liked, and I sent it off to my manager, right? Just like, "What could this be a thing if I rewrote it?"
When you
So
read it,
that
did
was
you
fun.
go, I am a good writer? Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Did
Some of
I
it
write this?
Some of it, though, other parts were like, "Wow, I can
Yeah,
tell
of
I wrote
course.
this a long
Of
time ago."
course.
Because like, the
Yeah.
action lines aren't as clear. Like, I'm a better
Right.
writer now, but
Right.
it's still my voice, which was a nice reminder. Like, "Oh, yeah, I wrote this."
So obviously
Yeah.
everybody has this issue of capture.
Mhm.
I personally hate it because you have to kind of scramble to find the technology to write it down on, and that, like you said, I have things in notes, I have things in emails, I have things in books, I have, and sometimes it is just fun to kind of clean your desk up or drawer up to find those. And I guess I would just say for myself, like, when people ask me, what do you choose to work on? It is just this like level of fascination, right? You're thinking about it all the time. You're
Mm.
fascinated. Like,
Mhm.
something could be the coolest idea, but you just don't want to write it, right? There's nothing there for you somehow. But and then, like you said, I love what you said about like multiple things having some sort of higher connective tissue, which then I really get to know myself. I'm like, oh, that's what I write about. Oh,
Yeah.
isn't that cool?
I think another thing that I know you're a writer and a director and an artist. You make these beautiful pieces. It's paint and collage. What would you say the
I
medium
would say it's
is?
collage. Yeah.
Collage, but they're
Yeah.
beautiful. But a totally different medium, totally different vehicle for expression. So I started writing fiction. So I'm working on a book, I'm working on a short story, I have a memoir I'm working on. I'm also writing scripts in adult space and in the kid space. And I am oversaturated right now. I have
Right.
too much. So I am like nothing is really getting my real full attention in the way that I want it to. Plus, I've got the podcast, I've got my family, I've got some asshole
Mm.
hit my car this weekend.
What?
So listen to this. Okay, this is just a how was your week moment.
Yeah, let's do that.
My daughter, after 5 years in martial arts, tested for her black belt on Saturday night. And she got it. It was amazing. And it was this thing the whole family's been invested in, and her friends were there. And it was like amazing. She got her black
Woo!
belt, right? And so I walk up to my car at 9:30 on a Saturday night in Burbank, and someone has hit my car and driven away,
Mm.
hit and run style.
Mm.
So I'm like, damn it. So that I call the city and I'm like, do you have cameras? Because it was right by City Hall. They do. They caught the accident. So I'm like, great. Can we track it down on another stoplight? Like I felt like I was in like one of those crime
Yeah.
procedurals. So I've
Yeah.
gotten it all. Like they're tracking down the who did it. My fear is that it's actually my neighbor. because the car that they described hitting me is my neighbor's car, and I'm like, anyway.
Now, when you worry that it's your neighbor, do you go like, "That's a movie angle. I want to write about that." Do you get like, "Ooh,
No, but now I do. I went to the police station to file a police report, right? Because that's the only way I can get the camera footage sent to my insurance company. And the cop said, "Do you want to file charges to get this
ooh,
person arrested to go to court?" And I'm like, number one, the car they described was really fancy. So I'm
mhm."
like, right off the way, this person has more financial resources than I do. So like, I don't know. But if I go that far, then maybe I'll have an idea for something because I imagine weird things are going to happen.
Options open.
Yes. But that kind of stuff, that's a whole other project that requires a completely different part of my brain. And then once I start that, then I'm like, "Oh, right, I have." Then the home tasks start to take over. So for me, the multiple task management is really hard with my ADHD and, working at
So let
home.
me ask you this, because what I thought was really exciting that you're writing fiction, and
Yes.
the thing I want to say is, and you brought up my painting.
Yes.
There is something that okay, so there's one version where you have multiple projects that are screenwriting projects,
I have that too.
and
Yes.
then you have multiple projects that sort of feed each other and feed your soul and feed the pile and feed the organic churning, and it's like one of the things I did love, and I haven't painted in a while, but did love about collaging was it kept me in process. Like you're just in that flow state, and you take that flow state and you walk back to your chair and you start writing. It's so good. But it also fed the writing process because it taught me, like, and we talk about this all the time. There's a sloppy part, there's a beginning part, there's a tear it up and wreck it. And it doesn't have the same burden as a painting, as writing. Like it's so much harder to do with screenwriting because it's so much of a lift. It's, like the architecture of a movie, but it does sort of bring you the joy of when you rip it up and tear it down, it can become something else. And like it's a much faster way of experience that transformation into
You
like
mean in
the
physical
rewrite.
art? Oh, the
Yeah, well,
rewrite.
right. Yeah, well, I mean, it's like rewriting, right? You're rewriting your painting, you're rewriting your script. It's so painful to rewrite the script, but then you go and rewrite the painting, and you can do it so much faster and get to like, oh, a third idea. That is what I enjoy about having multiple projects. They inform each other. I do believe you can only have 3 writing projects at a time, like really working on them truly, and like it might be a screenplay and a screenplay, or it might be a screenplay and a outline and a fleshing it out. You know what I mean? Like, and you might have 5 fleshing it out documents open that you're never going to do. But
Yep.
you're tooling around. Um, but how do you get to a point where like you trick yourself into focusing on 3 things that you can kind of like grind forward? And
Uh,
each one has to have a different level of grind, or you're not going to you can't everything can't be a grind.
Right. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I have been trying to evaluate myself. Like my whole life is, I'm doing that bad. I'm doing that wrong. How can I be better? How can I improve? And I got to the point recently, the age that I am, like, what if this was it? What if this was how I am? And yes, I can adjust and be more this and be more that, but every day, practically speaking, this is it. So how do I acknowledge that without judgment and just notice? And what I've figured out about myself and what I crave is being witnessed. So I am really motivated if I know it's going to be acknowledged by somebody on the other end. Not necessarily like this was great, but just you did it. So, with a painting, someone can walk by and say like, "Wow, you painted, you did a thing." It's like out there to see. With writing, it's more difficult. So I could just say I did it, but maybe I didn't. Or so even if I just email someone a PDF and I say I did it, don't open that, don't read that. But I just need you to say I see that you did it. So that's what I've learned about myself, and so I require that in some capacity. So I I've been trying to figure out how to get that with if I don't have a producer or I don't have a job attached to it, like money attached to it. So, in terms of how many projects I can sustain, It's what is my schedule around that? If I promise to deliver something to somebody, I have to be really realistic about it. So I have learned how to set realistic and achievable goals, meaning I am probably not going to write that pilot in 2 weeks as much as I would love to, considering what's actually going on in my life.
Especially
I
when
got,
people are hitting your car and giving you
yes.
bullshit
And
problems.
yes, then I have to spend time doing that. And then something else comes up. So, what is a realistic deadline, timeline, given what's actually going on in my life, what actually gets in the way? So, practically speaking, that is how I try to manage. I don't know how many projects I can do, but like, um, I forgot what the question was, but that's something I'm rolling around with, like trying to figure out who am I actually, what is actually in my way, what actually I need to feel like at the end of the day I can go to bed and not be beating myself up.
Well, I think, the thing that painting taught me, and I think that and it also taught me to observe, which is what I'm hearing in you, is like
Mhm.
everybody has a different process.
Mhm.
And you got to do it enough to have your own process and then not judge your process, right? Like if
Yeah.
I could never do, I wouldn't say I could never do, but when you said you have so many things that you're working on all the time, like I like to like go like I'm gonna dig into like, like three. Like I just
Yeah.
I want to tunnel it down and narrow it down. It doesn't mean I'm gonna finish any of those or whatever. But I
Mhm.
mean, we all have our own process, and the point of doing it seems to me is to like learn and own your own process. So
Mhm.
you are you comfortable with your process? Do
I'm
you
learning
judge
how
it?
to be. Yes, I'm learning how to be. So yesterday I delivered an outline to a producer and I felt like, "Oh, okay, right. It's been a little back and forth trying to really nail down what it is. And so then I was like, okay, now I'm going to work on something that is just for me and fun. So writing fiction, I love reading, but I haven't studied or taken a class about like how to do it. So I'm just sort of doing it. Right? So it feels like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't possibly be doing it wrong
I
or
don't know what
right.
the rules are.
I
How
don't
can I
know what
do it
the rules.
wrong?
That's right. And that's why I wrote my first horror short was like that. Like, I don't know how to write. I don't know. And I just did it. And it was great fun. So my
Right.
reward is that I'm going to write something that is fun. And if it continues to feel fun or I connect into it like, oh, there's something real here, which there has to be because I really want to finish writing this thing. So that's sort of how I'm managing things. The trick is that I don't have for all these projects, like the relief of I did the thing. Now I get to wait for notes and come back to this other thing. I know all this sounds very vague. I'm not being very specific. What do
I
you
don't think it
do?
I
How
don't
do
think it
you
does
do it?
sound vague. Don't think it sounds vague at all. I think you know, to me, I've said this before, and I think you have to know where you are in the process. So what I hear you saying about the fiction is you're just in the have fun part of the process,
Yes.
right? Like, and there's a consequence for that, which is when you start writing or doing anything and you don't know the rules, you may end up like having to do a lot of work later,
Yeah.
but that's fine. Like you're learning to do something new, and you should have fun and not
Yes.
intellectualize it. And I also love, and I have this question for you. You said that you're writing and there's something in it, and this could be a
Mm,
whole show. Like,
yeah.
how do you know? Is it a feeling? Do you think about the marketplace?
Mm-mm.
Do you what how do you know that there's something in it
For me,
for you?
I'm interested what your answer is too. For me, it's if I'm writing and I get to a point where I've naturally found some connection. Like at the beginning, I describe a character as her shoes are untied, right? And then, like 3 pages later, there's something thematic about her shoes being untied, like a unfinished business or a rope, or if I find then when I find that and it's sort of natural, like, oh, there's something in this, there's something I'm digging into. But if it just sort of goes on and like there's no connections to anything, I sort of feel like there might not be anything in there. But and I found this. I took a lot of poetry classes right after college, like for the UC extension, and I love doing generative writing workshops, and I find that I can write a whole piece with a beginning, middle, and end in 20 minutes. so that get to a conclusion where I'm like, ah, there it is. Then that's something in it. So that's how I sort of set the 20 minutes for myself of free writing. And if I get to that natural end, which is just another beginning, right? That's how I know.
Great.
Because that makes me feel impressed with myself, but
Hmm.
really more honoring that something is coming to me, right? It's not like, oh, I'm a genius because I didn't think about it. It just sort of naturally showed up. And so then I feel like there's something knocking at the door saying this is worth investigating. What about you?
Well, when I wrote alone, it was that sense of like just fascination, right? You just like, and it comes from deep in your gut, right? You're like you said, the shoes are untied, and you just like need to explore that, and then you start, opening it up and unpacking it, and does it relate to plot? Does it relate to concept? Does it relate to theme? You write a bunch of character stuff. um, and it's somewhat the way I still work, but now Meg and I are writing together, and there's also the part of like you both gotta love it.
Mm,
And it's somewhat that same exercise where, it just gets a hold of you, and you're both like, let's say
mhm.
6 months ago we had a story meeting with 20 ideas, and what about this, and what about this, and all those emails came into the office, and what about this, but something happens where you're just returning to it, you're returning to it, you're returning to it, and this, you start over here and you end over there, and you're in a completely different pond and pool, but it's not like breaking the story,
Mhm.
but there's some version of like the something balloons and blossoms, and then you break the story, right? But something blossoms between you,
Mhm.
in terms of an idea or a fascination, and then you just want to work on it all the time, and I really think that's it.
When you say 3 projects that you should have, are you
Mm.
saying that they're all writing projects?
Oh yeah, I just
Or
meant as a
yeah,
professional writer.
as a writer.
It's like, I call it like a farmer. You have three fields, right? And
Mhm.
you don't know, crop
One's
dies.
fallow, right? You have one
One's,
fallow field. We learned that in
yeah,
7th grade,
yeah.
right?
But I mean, let's say they're all going, and it's
Mhm.
like, there's a tariff on to whatever peas, so you can't sell those, and nobody wants barley anymore. But hey, kumquats.
Yes,
you
I
know?
absolutely agree with you,
Yeah, yeah.
especially, when I was running a show, it's all in. Like, it is I don't think I slept for those whole, like, 10 weeks, like, it was all in,
A whole
and
other animal. Yeah.
And then I was towards the end of it when we were on stage and shooting, I started to panic. Like I don't have anything that like I'm halfway done with because it was like all I was doing. And I just felt this, oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm gonna have to take this downtime to figure out those 3 projects to get going in again. And it was terrifying. The complexity for me of having more than one project is if I'm not careful, they start to bleed together in a way that I don't want, right? I am
When you
writing
say if I'm not careful, let's unpack that.
yeah, so
How
I
how are
am
you being dangerous?
how am I being dangerous? Whatever, I will be writing a screenplay, like a movie, and it's got these 4 characters in it, and they are doing this, and then I'll be like, "Oh, right, I have to go work on this other thing now." I'll start to if I haven't fully let that feature go, like, "I am done with this now, I will come back to it. We have a date to get back together tomorrow at 10 AM, but for right now, I'm gonna do this." I'll start to take the stuff I was working on and that I'll either create problems that don't exist in the second project that I'm struggling with in the first, right? Like, "Oh, I was struggling with midpoint in this one. I should look at the midpoint in this one too." When maybe that's not actually something that I should be working on yet or have already solved it. Or my character is struggling with this, then I'll put that into that second project's character struggle when it's a different project. So I have to figure out this is something I'm working on. This is probably why having less projects than I actually have is a better idea because then I can say, all right, I'm done with that. And I like to have like all day to work on one thing because then I feel like I have the space to give
Isn't
it.
that sweet? Oh,
I know.
oh, those
It's more like
days.
2 or 3 hours
Yeah,
max, right? That
that's
I
a
can
whole day
carve
at this
out.
point. Yeah,
Yes.
that feels good. Yeah.
But in terms of being witness, so I started doing TSL writing hours. So over on the workshop space, I've posted like 2 times a
I love
week.
that.
I
I'm
set
so inspired by that, by the way. When I see it come across my email, I'm like, oh,
Right, I've carved out, like, 3 or 4 hours on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. I think it's mostly Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Friday, and I'll be like, I open a Zoom, and anyone who's in the membership can join the Zoom, and it's silent. Cameras are optional, and you can pop in or out. They can, I can't. I
mm,
am held hostage
mm,
in my chair,
witnessed.
writing, being, like, held accountable, and
Yeah.
I'm the one who came up with it, right? So
Mm,
I'm like, okay, I kind of have to model the thing that I'm saying. And so I've never been more productive. Productive, not in terms of like pages or whatever, but like focus, which is that it's part of the ADHD thing being body doubling. Like I know a lot of people have groups like this where like you have had trouble washing your dishes, you log onto a body doubling site and there's like 50 other people all doing some chore and you don't
mm,
talk. You're
mm.
just like, I say I'm going to do this thing,
Right.
the other people are doing their thing, so I'm gonna do my thing too, which is it's really satisfying and it makes me feel fed.
Well, in a world where it's so many distractions, it almost me feels like you're making an appointment, and that feels like a commitment, and that can
Yes.
make all the difference. It can just focus the mind. Like I said, I'd show up. And
Yes.
you know this, Meg's like loves nothing more than a deadline to scare the,
Yes.
like the ex and I kind of like a deadline, but I don't really like a deadline because I'll wait for like 4 days before the deadline to like that kind of.
Are you sure you don't have ADHD?
I might. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I the
That's
other
not
th
it's not completely true, I'll wait to the end, but I kind of like when you get to the 2-minute warning, and it's like 2 minutes left in the game, and you've gotta, like, boom, and
Mhm,
it just that kind of focus and adrenaline, and I don't like to write afraid, I hate it. So if I'm
mhm,
getting
mhm.
afraid or scared, I won't write. Too bad.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
don't get
yeah?
me today. Yeah, I mean, but it's like it's my trick for myself, and then I'll wait till like I'm ready to go, and that could mean like taking an hour to paint instead, right? Like,
Mhm,
why am I going to
mhm.
write with my brain fractured and disassociative and all that? I'm going to get in my body and I'm going to write, and then you get in your body and you like it's boom, and
Yeah.
synapses are firing and things happen, and like it's tricky because you could go off a cliff and not make it because the buzzer will go off,
Yeah.
but you know I have a lot of confidence in myself and my ability to take it down the court, and I like that. So
Oh, that's
again,
cool.
knowing your process, and like
Yeah.
Meg will be like, "No.
Nope. She
Nope.
can't do that.
Nope."
It's
And
not
I'll
for
be
her.
like, "Yeah, you do your thing and then I got the last 2 minutes." You know
Right.
what I mean? Like and by the way, no better quarterback on the field in the
She's
last 2 minutes
amazing.
than Meg
Yeah.
LaFauve. So, I'm mixing metaphors. I was talking basketball and football, but you get it.
When were you talking basketball? I don't even
Well,
know.
the
It's
2
okay, I don't wanna
minutes.
know. I
The 2
oh, right,
minutes.
I don't know. I thought
Both
that was
have
just
2
sports
minutes.
ball. I thought that was just sports
Sports,
ball. Yeah.
baseball doesn't have a clock.
The other part of having multiple projects is with deadlines or different commitments, or I'm gonna send this to you, is communicating to the people expecting it on the other side if you're not going to hit the deadline that you've agreed on because another project has impinged. So I'm writing a pilot on spec and I love it. And I'm super excited to be writing it on spec. And I have deadlines around it, right? Because that helps me. But then I just got a project that's going to pay me money. So I'm probably not going to meet the deadline that I have for the project on spec. So I then have to figure out how to communicate that without saying, I got something more important over here because it's paying me money. It's more about like, how much information do I give? How am I
What are your thoughts
respectful?
on that right now?
Right now, I have a really good relationship with
But I mean,
the
what
people.
give me like top of your head how that letter
Oh,
or email would go. Top of your head.
uh,
Cuz you're carving out a strategy for what you're going to say,
yes.
right?
Yes. It's like, I don't know. First thing I would do is talk to my manager about it, honestly. I'd be like, "Hey, this thing came up and, I need to communicate to them."
I think every email always begins with great news.
I gotta drop the
Great
pace.
news.
Oh, that's a great strategy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, but then you
Yeah.
find the way to say the great news in a way it has to be the truth. Like,
Yes.
Great news. I am having such a kick-ass, wonderful time on the thing I'm writing for
Yeah.
you. And also, I need to let you know that I have to
Yes.
step off for a week because I got
Yes.
a paying gig.
Yeah.
So excited about what we're doing together.
Yeah.
Love you. All
Yeah.
right. So as we close, what have we learned today, Lorien? I think
I
we learned that it's okay. We have multiple projects.
Yes.
There are having multiple screen projects.
Yes.
There's also having multiple projects that just keep you happy and sane,
Yes.
and not to judge yourself. Lorien
Yes.
McKenna, 101.
Which is
A
challenging.
journey. A
A
journey.
journey.
Yeah.
Yes. I realize that I have too many projects. And if I'm forgetting a project, then that means that's not a great sign. I should probably pick the top 3 and focus on those, prioritizing what's due, what's the money project, what's this, who's expecting what.
I mean, that's another organizing.
Yeah.
What's like, I have 3 projects because that's right. I forgot about that. Like, one's the money project and one's the crazy thing that I hope to make because, whatever. And I'll write this no matter what, with that hope. And then,
Yeah.
maybe the one behind it is who knows, but I'm just fucking around with, what else could be.
Yeah. So
Hey,
we
I'm
hope
glad
this
that we can curse
episode
on your show, by the way.
fuck yeah. I
Yeah.
hope this episode was enlightening
Shop
in
Talk.
any way.
This was the first episode of Shop Talk. I think it was great. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
I learned a lot. It was good.
Me too.
And Lorien, you're not alone.
And remember, keep writing.
All right, I will. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
The Screenwriting Life is produced and edited by Alex Alcheh. For more support, find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can also head over to thescreenwritinglife.com to learn more about TSL Workshops. We have a growing library of pre-recorded workshops covering everything from core craft like character, want, and outlining a feature to the business side of writing, including how to navigate the elusive general meeting. We also host 2 live Zooms each month where you can talk with Lorien, Meg, or myself about the projects you're working on. The link to sign up is in the episode description. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to thescreenwritinglife@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember, you are not alone, and keep writing.